It's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Don. Chaz Evans here, checking out the hottest podcast in the world, the 3 Count Podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top row crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Don, the Grapple Region's best kept secret, and you're checking out the 3 Count Podcast debate show, Chaz and Friends. Let me introduce to you my friends. Introducing first, he's the man that runs the show because y'all know I really don't do anything. I just talk a lot of crap. He is the landlord of the Dog Pound. All right. He is the Red Dog of Red Dogs. He is Red Dog Cliff Miller.
Hey, yeah, it's the Air Force veteran intel specialist, the one you call on when you need to get the job done, and your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, also the DICK of this industry. That's right, the dog in charge, kid. Like, get your mind out the gutter, all right?
And last but certainly not least, we got ourselves a special guest joining us on the debate show. All right, this guy is the big brain, all right, of Invictus Pro Wrestling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, he's been on our show plenty of times before. Everybody, give a huge warm welcome to my main man, Alex. What's going on, man?
Not much. Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh, you're always welcome. Like, you're the unofficial member of this podcast. I think out of all the guests, I think Alex has been on the most, next to TJ.
Yeah, and no, actually, yeah, because let's see, we've had Invictus, and then you came on for the debate show. Then we brought you back on for another episode.
Exactly.
And then you've been on for 201.
Equivalent of like Joey Diaz for Seth Rogen. Not Seth Rogen. Like when he needs a last minute guest, he just hold him off. Comes to smoke weed. Yeah.
But we definitely love having you on. It's our last show of the year. So hey, if Alex is here on the last show of the year, the show is definitely going off the rails. No doubt about it. The debate show is going off the rails today. I'm already planning out. Anyway, let's get through some intro and announcements. Bull crap. If you have not already done so, make sure you follow us on your favorite social media platform, whether that is Twitter, all right, 3count_pod, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, 3 Count Pod, all one word. And you know not to type in THREE, but to put that number 3 in there. Also, buy some merch, okay? It is Pro Wrestling Tees /3 Count Pod. This the number 3. Don't you dare type in THREE. All right. Make sure you get a shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees because we will be moving all of our stuff to For Your Wear coming the next year. So get it while it's here because it's gonna be gone. So get it because it helps us a lot. Also, if you're not already done so, hit that bell button on YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you always are notified when we drop that awesome content. For our podcast listeners, make sure you like and subscribe to on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, podcast.com. If it got podcasts, we're on there. So make sure you subscribe. Also for Apple Podcasts, give us that 5-star frog splash review off the top rope and tell a friend. So
tell all your friends, not just a friend.
So yeah, tell 2 friends, and then tell them to tell 3 friends, and then tell the 3 friends to tell 4 friends. Yeah, I like that idea. So yeah, do that. Also, Cliff, let us know what's coming up. Oh, well, you want to do it now?
Yeah. So actually, we could start off like this, right? So, episode 299 of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Answer Me is coming out. We can talk about that episode because it is the wonderful person, the human highlight himself, Isaiah Moore. He'll be joining on the show. It's definitely a lot of fun. And then Thursday is our 300th guest.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So actually, I decided to prepare us a little video, and you guys can check it out right now.
3, 2, 1. This is Unreal Flip Gordon, and you are watching the 3 Count Podcast.
I'm in fashion.
That's right. The Unreal Flip Gordon is going to join us for the 300th episode. I'm hyped. I'm not even going to front. It was such a massive get to be able to bring him on the podcast and talk to him for a little bit.
Power move, fellas.
I can finally talk about it now. Whew. All right, cool. I am so hyped for this interview. Okay, like seriously.
Army
like,
meets
like
Air Force, right?
Right, 100%. National Guard.
Oh, he was National Guard.
Yeah.
So I can't definitely check out all of our interviews. Definitely check out this Thursday, Flip Gordon. He is now entering the ring. Wow, that's just all the names that we've had so far. Just Flip Gordon now into the ring. Still is just like So
it is. It's crazy to think about, right? Is that like we've had 300 interviews as far as like now entering the ring, and we've been like very open about like has people on, people that we had to take off, right? We've done 300 interviews now, have all 300 episodes been up. No, some of them we've had to pull, but we've done 300 interviews, and that's what makes this so massive. Is that earlier this year, if you guys remember, January 4th, I think it was our 200th episode where we brought on Chris Van Vliet. And now here we are at 300 in less than a year. We've had our 300th episode, which I'm not gonna lie, next year that's not gonna be a thing. This has been a pain in the ass to do to get all these episodes. But more importantly, and this is something, Alex, I think you're gonna like this too. Today, as we're talking right now, is our 420th episode of the 3 Count Podcast in general. Episode 420. What up, though? Sup, bro?
In December.
Yeah.
Blazer. My dad's out right now, so won't be partaking in the celebration. But
that's also crazy too to think about. Like we've been doing this for 3 years now. We're going into season 4 with our finale tonight, right? Our yearly finale. We're going in next year to season 4. It's just crazy to think about that.
It was 3 years yesterday.
Yeah, 3 years yesterday we started this podcast.
crazy.
Jeez, it's funny. It's all your fault, Cliff.
It 100% is. 100%.
You gave me the bug, the podcast bug, and I said let's do it, and now look at us.
Right. It's been a lot.
Yeah. Oh, a lot is an understatement. But let's get on down to our debate show. Let's start it off with Temp Check. All right. So Temp Check. For those of you who don't know what Temp Check is, let's get down to the rules. All right. Me and my friends are going to give you our hottest and or coldest wrestler going into this week. So I will start us off. My hottest wrestler going into this week. I'll start us off with the hottest wrestler. So my hottest wrestler going into this week is Big Match John Cena. All right, hottest guy going into this week. Only simply because of the simple fact is John Cena is wrestling again in my lifetime, and we don't get that often anymore. So you savor them while you can. And I saw a tweet that said, posted the promo when Cena announced that he was wrestling. It was like, yes, I've missed you, daddy. And I was like, you know what? I agree. I have missed John Cena. I have missed Big Match John on my screen. You can't. Yeah. So my hottest wrestler going into this week, John Cena. What about you, Red Dog? Hottest wrestler?
I mean, that is a good one to pull for Cena. You know what? I'm gonna take this a different way. Mandy Rose is my hottest wrestler of the week. And I say that because for somebody who was just released, right, people are still talking about her, and it's just like a massive explosion of like support and love for her. But I think I'm just gonna go with that route and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take Mandy Rose this week.
All right, Alex, what about you?
I'm gonna go way off the beaten path. I'm gonna go with Billie Starkz. She made her AEW debut this week on Dark, and she's 100% going to be one to watch. The fact that she's as good as she is and only being like just turned 18 a couple weeks ago is mind blowing. Her matches like make me wince in the best possible way. Just she does. She breaks out that Joshi shit, just dropping people right on their heads, and crazy. Yeah, she's got a very, very bright future ahead of her. So very excited to see what she does going into 2023.
I was gonna say that match that she had with Becca just a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Yep. I was the same. I thought like the match with Becca.
I haven't
Yep.
audibly gasped at a wrestling match in a while, like, or a wrestling move, specifically a spot, but the Joker driver that she hit on the apron in that match made me like literally clap my hand over my mouth, like, it's wild. But yeah, I mean, between that and then the AEW debut, also went on a tour of Japan a couple weeks ago too. So yeah, again, the fact that she's accomplished all this by the age of 18 is wild. So
absolutely. All right, coldest wrestler going into this week. Red Dog, start us off.
I think I'm gonna take my coldest wrestler. It's, I don't know, people are gonna be like if ands or buts about it, whatever. I'm gonna say Darby Allin. Even though like he's like always like in the picture of everything, it just, I don't know, I really don't feel like he's just, I don't know, I feel like he's just in limbo right now. So I kind of feel bad in calling it out like that. Because I'm sure every time I call somebody out, like that week, the next week, they also like appear in like some random ass spot and like doing something amazing. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Darby Allin,
you got Ricochet his Intercontinental push, that whole run.
That one, Mustafa Ali's like
Mustafa Ali
move.
was the other one. Yep, that is sex. Yeah. All right, Alex, what about you? Your coldest wrestler going into this week?
Boy, I don't know, coldest wrestler. That's you're gonna have to come back to me. I got my brain here. Yeah.
All right, I got my coldest wrestler. Here we go. It's another controversial one, just like last week. All right. If you remember last week, Riot City. All right. The tag team was my coldest wrestlers of the week because they took an L to your boys' pure ignorance. But I got another big L to hand out to Riot City. All right. Sicken is my coldest wrestler of the week because he did not win the King of Maryland tournament. He said he was going to. He tried to get this whole rah-rah, like, oh, I'm injured, but I'm back, guys. Reclaim, and he lost. Big L's. Shout out to Uncle Van Williams, King of Maryland tournament winner this year. And biggest L of the year goes to Sicken. So yeah, coldest wrestler go out to Sicken.
Wow. I'm gonna clip that and I'm sending it to him. Like,
I'm glad you did. Listen, as soon as I saw that Vam won and Nick didn't, I just instantly laughed and I was like, oh, my poor friend Nick. It was like, I'm giving him the coldest wrestler of the week for 2 weeks in a row now, just to mess with him. All right, Alex, you got yours? I tried to really buffer that one.
I don't know, man. It's okay. So I'm taking a solely kayfabe perspective. In this, but I'm gonna go with Chris Jericho, because of the L that he took. The relatively unknown but very talented, Action Andretti, and retrospectively, probably should have put Action Andretti as the hottest wrestler.
Factual.
Retroactively, but it didn't come up to me. But yeah, I'm going to say strictly in kayfabe speaking, to be handed an L from a fresh newcomer like that, a jobber, some might say, is definitely a stain. But obviously, from a backstage insider perspective, I have my respect for Jericho has gone through the roof, because the fact that he's at that stage in his career now where he can make stars literally just with a snap of the fingers like that is awesome. So I love seeing it, and I know that Andretti's a fellow DMV boy, so I'm sure you all are very excited about that.
Oh yeah, I literally like screeched at the 3 count.
Yeah.
I remember I was standing. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, these guys are killing it. And then he hit him, and then he's like, oh, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, ah!
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Literally texted our group chat with Cliff and the other guys from Fury, and he was like, "Oh my God, Action just beat Jericho."
Wild.
The funny thing is, Chaz, I don't know if you noticed that, but we were at the match that Chris Jericho decided that Action should be a superstar.
The
Oh,
shell match, right?
Yeah, the one
really?
with QT. Yeah. We had just what's so funny is that we showed up to AEW for Rampage, and we were there that
Had on the
night.
belts.
For with QT Marshall's match. And it was funny because like from what I remember, and here you guys go, a little like behind the scenes, it was supposed to be a squash match. And so when asked, another producer was like, we can't have this. We need you to actually show up and show out. So they did. And Jericho was actually watching the match. We were actually like, I don't know 20 feet from Jericho.
Oh yeah, when Jericho was mostly on his phone.
yeah, that night. And so maybe that's what he was doing. He was like texting like, Action needs to be a superstar.
Right, you're right. Cliff, you were talking trash about him.
I was like, this man up here on his phone this whole time, not even pay attention to the match. And instead he was like totally putting him over. But yeah, so we were there and then we watched QT just help like put Action over, and it was amazing.
It was
awesome. I love seeing that.
We also got booed that night, and Jade definitely let us know that we were not shit for cheering for Willow.
Oh yeah, she definitely let us have it. I was like, I'm sorry, I love you too, but Willow's really nice.
But Willow is the homie.
Exactly, like Willow's the homie.
She's been on our podcast and you haven't. Otherwise, we would cheer for you too.
That's also factual.
Willow is also an Invictus alum, and I feel like nobody knows that.
Yes. I did know that actually.
I knew that, but we knew that.
Yeah. No one knows. It was studio tapings. It doesn't count apparently. So.
Alrighty, let's take this on. Let's move to our first debate topic. She's been making headlines. She hasn't wrestled since like the first half of the year. All right, Sasha Banks. Reports came out that her deal apparently ended over the summer. She is working New Japan dates next year, and she's officially done with WWE. So, also other reports were coming about that Sasha wanted more money of the Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair talent, and reports have come out that saying that WWE feels like she's not worth that money. She has peaked as a star. So the debate question is Sasha Banks past her prime? Cliff, you want to start us off? Then we'll go Alex, and then I'll come at the end.
I find it funny that WWE would predict that somebody is like past their prime when she literally hit the road and like pulled in $30K off of one appearance at the Comic-Con that she went to. Past her prime? Absolutely not. I was like, she's just like in the groove of it. So I just don't understand like where they would see that this could be a problem. It's not even like fans were over her. In fact, if you were looking like as more reports were coming out that she and Naomi had left, like the fans were clamoring to get Sasha back in. And so for someone to just come out and say, nah, we think she's past her prime, it more sounds like they're just kind of bitter that she just refuses to come back. But then again, who knows, man? She might actually work these New Japan days. WWE might be like, oh yeah, you are definitely deserving of this money, and then they end up bringing her back. But I think right now, like to say that she's past the prime just kind of sounds like a girl who got turned down by somebody, and they're like, yo, like I'm really into that guy. And he says no, they're like, well, that guy ain't shit, So I think that's why I kind of feel, at least. Because she's still excellent. She cuts great promos. She's still like a hot commodity. Like a lot of people are still asking about her. And there's no way that people are going to throw the money that they want at her if they're going to be like, no. She's met her peakness whenever we see her training in Japan or we see her training in Mexico. We see her, just learning new stuff constantly. There's no way that you can tell someone this is peaked per se. So no, I think WWE should have just ponied up and got with her, but instead I think they're really just dropping the ball and just kind of being a little bitter and just trying to say, nah, she's not worth it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the like guy getting rejected by a girl comparison, because I really do think that's what it is. It's sour grapes, not just on WWE's part, but on the fans' part too. I see any post about Sasha Banks, and I scroll down to the comments section, and it's there's a lot of bitterness, and I think it's really misplaced. I don't think it's fair to say she's past her prime, because I think yeah, she hasn't appeared in WWE, since the beginning of the year, but it's not that she hasn't been doing anything. As Cliff pointed out, she's been in Mexico, she's been in Japan, she's been honing her craft, she's been putting the work in. And I think those were all strategic moves on her part so that she can prove to WWE that they made the wrong choice. I'm particularly very excited. If it's confirmed, that sold Wrestle Kingdom for me, to see what she can do, because I always said Japan has a tendency to kind of, in terms of work rate, bring the best out of people. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing her get in there, with some of the Joshi workers. But I also just think, I don't even think it's fair to say that she's not worth as much as, Becky or Charlotte. You think in terms of mainstream appeal, she's guest starring in The Mandalorian. Like, she's like you said, commanding these very high prices at meet and greets. So I don't think it's fair to say that she's not somehow at the same level as, your other main event female talent. Something just doesn't add up to me there.
Facts.
And you mentioned the point that I was going to drive home, Alex, that saying that she's in The Mandalorian. She's in Star Wars. And I think, people don't realize the fact that she has a fan base outside of wrestling. Like, she's asking that amount of money for Comic-Con is because you're not getting just wrestling fans coming to get signed and to see her. You're getting that Star Wars fan base. And if there's any fan base that's just as toxic or wild as wrestling fans, all right, hello, welcome Star Wars fans. So past her prime and saying that she's peaked as a star is completely ridiculous. Just because she wrestled in, I think it was like April, May, right after Mania, right? I think was around her last appearance. Doesn't mean that when she comes back, she not only will she create a buzz, but she can maintain that buzz. That woman deserves, if not more money than a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair, because of the simple fact is that she's a star elsewhere. Like, WWE doesn't need Mercedes. Sorry, I meant the other way. Mercedes doesn't need WWE. Yeah. WWE needs Sasha Banks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, I'm stoked. Shout out to a black woman getting paid. Like, she's going to Japan and she's going to kick all of the ass. Like, we can see old Sasha Banks from NXT. A lot of people said her stuff has changed, how people change over to the new roster. The main roster. Okay. Well, now you can see that old Sasha Banks come out in some of these jokes.
Minus the crazy neck bumps. Hopefully.
Yes. Oh, please. Yes.
Hopefully.
I see. And then I just think of anyway. But yeah. So, like, you can see her mix it up with, like you said, the Joshis. And if she does go to AEW or even just Impact, all the knockouts over there, okay, Tasha Steelz and Mercedes slaps, okay?
Yeah.
Jordan Grace and Sasha Banks smacks. Yeah. And think about it, on the indies, like, Trisha Dora versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah. I don't think, though, with the price tag that she's commanding, I don't think the indies or even Impact would be likely, but Impact does have the working relationship with New Japan, so it could be possible. If New Japan's trying to build up their women's division, because they just introduced the IWGP women's title,
right,
earlier this year. So if they're really serious about putting in that division, I would 100%, because Impact has one of the strongest women's divisions.
Factual.
Wrestling as a whole right now. So if they were smart, they would definitely double down on that relationship.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They would. I would think that they would.
Mercedes a fixture there. I mean, like you said, the dream matches are endless. But
I would think that they would open up that relationship and keep that relationship open with because Forbidden Door 2 is coming. We know that's kind of another thing. But it's like you would think that like with AEW as well as Impact too, because imagine like you having, Britt, Jade, Kiera Hogan, Jamie Hayter,
the three-way Venn diagram of like and Stardom is like
I can't wait. I can't wait. And the funny thing is like I'm not too familiar with like the Joshi wrestling scene, although like I've been trying to like venture more into it, right? But like the names I do know, where it's like like Maki Ito, like I would love to see a Maki Ito versus Mercedes Moné, if I think that's what her new name's gonna be. But to see Mercedes Moné versus Maki Ito, like let me get that match because that's gonna be a lot of fun, just like fun character work to watch. If I want to see her do like straight heavy hitting, I can't wait to see what we're gonna get with. I know it's not Kairi Sane, but what we're gonna get with Kairi Sane. Like there's just so many matches that I'm like, bro, I just can't wait. Hopefully Mickey gets to work a one-on-one with Sasha, so that way we can see that match happen too. Like there's just so many cool dream matches that you can get with just those two, with her alone. And you can't tell me that WWE is not like, you know what? We got Mercedes at home. Like, look, we have Shotzi. She's Mercedes. I'm like, no, that's not Mercedes. Like we know that. Just because they have green hair does not mean that they are both the same.
All righty, Cliff. What's our viewers looking like? Check the comments. Anybody talking or no one's talking?
No one's talking. But if you have comments, go ahead and put them in.
That is
crazy.
Usually,
I'm like, look at the comment section.
Yeah, normally someone's upset with something, or normally it's my opinion. But wow, that's weird. So all right, well then we're gonna move on. Then we're gonna move to our superlatives. Let's do superlatives, and then we'll do superlatives, and then we'll go to Mandy Rose. So let's do our superlatives. Alrighty, wrestling superlatives. Let's start off with tag team of the year. All right, so this can be any tag team. The parameters are legitimately endless, because quite frankly, it is your opinion and it is all you. Who am I to tell you no, you're wrong? So, with that being said, I have my tag team of the year. Drum roll. Here we go. Drum roll. Pure ignorance. I'm joking.
You say that, but I know you're not.
No, tag team of the year. It's the Usos. I am firmly on not to discredit FTR or the Briscoes, because if you want to argue, those are your top three tag teams on the scene. Really, you can give or take. You can argue, but I really do believe just the stuff with the Usos and the Bloodline everyone has said it. We've said it numerous times on the show. It's the best stuff week to week. Everything from Sammy not being an Uso to Sammy being an Uso but not being accepted to War Games to where we are now. I think the Usos have put on bangers after bangers after bangers. It does not matter which team you put with them. They put on bangers. The matches with the New Day, which is fire already. The matches with with Dawkins and Montez Ford, the matches with the Brawling Brutes that is recently had were actually really good. So the Usos, hands down, tag team of the year. PWI got it right. Twitter, all right. The Usos, top tag team of the year. What you got, Cliff?
All right, so I'm gonna give out two, right? So I got my indie tag team of the year as well as my
my indie tag team of the year is main event.
Okay.
Absolutely,
so
main event.
I'm gonna take the words right from Alex, right? The big leagues.
The Pittsburgh main event or the New York main event?
I'm sure it's the New York main event.
No, there's two main events.
Yeah.
The New York main event, yes.
The lion, the circus one.
J Lion.
Yes, J-Line, yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say indie tag team of the year for me is as well as main event. Like I can't front. Those guys are amazing, and the work that they put in is top notch. So
So
shout
good.
outs to House of Glory for them too. I do want to put my runner up for it too. Waves and Curls. Big shout out to the homie Trayvon. Get well. Godspeed to you, sir. But I know that Jalen's gonna hold it down while he's in recovery. But my tag team of the year in the big leagues, I'm gonna go FTR. Like you said it. Like you can't be wrong. But it is something that you said when you're holding the top title and 3 of the 4 companies that you're working for, and just and doing and putting on banger after banger match, right? When we talked about like WrestleMania week, and we had the top 20. I think I had FTR on there like 3 different times, right? And one of those was actually the multiverse of matches, which I thought was just amazing. So whether they're in the ring with Motor City Machine Guns, the Briscoes, or whoever, they always tear it down. They always make top stars. Like I can't turn away and be like, nah. I think this is like one of the few times where they even had their own shirt at 7 stars, right? But they've held so many different titles from every different promotion. And this year was just like the year I think that they had like the massive explosion that everybody was like, yeah, these are the guys. And, we saw them at Battle of the Belts, and we were enamored with what they were doing in the ring. So I was like, for me to be like, let me get Jimmy and Jay, which is not wrong, but I'm going to go with FTR.
Yeah, at the risk of being unoriginal, I'm also going with FTR. Just when you look at like prolificness, is that a word? I don't. Yeah, just the fact that they're holding, 3. At one point, we're holding 3 different, top tag titles. Not only the quantity of matches, but the
quality
variety of matches.
Mm-hmm.
They're having against such a variety of opponents. Like they really have just been rock steady this year. And just one of those. It's just very satisfying to see a tag team that was clearly held down, when they were working for WWE, just hit the ground running and just enjoy so much success. I think it's been a joy watching them this year. I think they've really just had a banger year. For the indie team, I would also have to go with the main event. I just think again, it's been because I've, being from New York, I've sort of watched them come up for over the years. And so seeing them break out and now be like nationally recognized is really cool. Lion came to our Bronx show that we had last month in November. Talked to him for a few minutes before I found out who he was, because obviously he wasn't wearing the lion mask. And no, but he was just a really cool dude, to just talk to. He's someone who genuinely, he said like as a joke, he's like, I'm not here trying to get booked. He's like, I'm just here because I enjoy wrestling. And I was like, appreciate that, And he was, so just, they deserve all the success that they've been enjoying recently.
You know who I forgot to also include in this list? We forgot the homies. We're gonna give a big shout out for the women's side as well.
I know
the Renegade Twins. Yeah,
I knew exactly once you said who we forgot, and I just go, oh, they're gonna
the homies.
They're gonna yell at us.
So big shout outs to them as well, because
definitely.
They have torn it up and down. Like I've been watching them like go from like Vegas to the Northeast to Mid Atlantic to down south to out west. Like they're holding it down. So big shout outs to Charlotte and Robin, because they're definitely massively doing their thing. So gotta throw out the love.
Definitely. All righty. So let's move on. Woman Wrestler of the Year. Cliff, who you got? You go first. Then we'll go Alex, and then I'll go at the end.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just knock off our big league person. To me, it's Jade Cargill. I know a lot of people are gonna find it kind of shocking because of all the names that are out there, especially for with like a Mandy Rose, or you're looking at this year with what Bianca's been able to do. But I think there's just something to be said with Jade, the way that she's still staying relevant. She's always able to like do something new, and even watching her just grow as a character, as well as a person, as well as a worker. So I think I just have to show my love and give my flowers over to Jade herself. And then my indie wrestler of the year, it was really tough because I had two people, and I'll tell you who the second one was after I tell you who the first one is. So our first person for me was Willow Nightingale. Like, I mean, let's be real. From, we were just talking about tours to Japan. Then you see that she's in AEW now, just we've seen her working on the indie side at Fight, so we've watched her just kind of move from place to place to place, get her flowers thrown at her from 1CW over in Delaware, as well as CCW in Delaware. So just to watch her continually do her thing, big ups and big loves. Who would be second, you might ask? Allie Catch. Let's be real, because Bussy is that team, and she is definitely holding it down, and I definitely enjoy watching her do her work. And I got to see her work with CCW over in Delaware when she got to wrestle Camille for the NWA Women's title, and she is everything they advertise and more. So those are my two.
I only have one because I think across both big leagues and indies, and she kind of does straddle both a little bit. I gotta go with Masha. Because between what she's been able to do with Impact, she was the first woman in PWG, and Lord knows how long. It's been almost 10 years, I think, since what's her name's been there, Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
Last time a woman was in PWG. Working death matches, just really like pushing the bounds of what a woman wrestler can do. Nothing but respect from her. And again, I remember like she's another one where it's just crazy. Like I used to do ring crew with her for Evolve. Like, so it's wild just seeing her break out and having the success that she's been having. It's great. So yeah, I would say, because she also works for Impact too. So I would say both big leagues and indie, I would consider her to be definitely my woman of the year. Gentlemen, I'm very sorry to do this, but I think I need to hop off because I got my dad upstairs.
No, go do your thing, man.
But
we definitely appreciate you for coming.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, guys. Really appreciate it, and congratulations on another successful year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so definitely shout out to Alex from Invictus Pro Wrestling coming on and showing some love to the 3 Count Podcast Debate Show. Now will be furtherly known as Chaz and Friends. But yeah, all right. So women wrestler of the year. My woman wrestler of the year, my big league is I gotta go agree with you as well, Cliff. Jade Cargill. She definitely has gotten better. I think I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give it too much credit, but the improvement from when she debuted and up to now holding the TBS title, she I think deserves the credit. When you look at out of all the women who are big stars and who really claimed this year as theirs, you can't go wrong with Jade, really. So that's my women wrestler of the year, Jade Cargill, and my indie women wrestler of the year, Trish Adora. That's the Pan African World Champion. That's my world champion. That's your world champion. If anybody else, I mean, I would give it to Willow as well, but Willow signed. So, shout out to the homie Willow. She signed now, so she's a big league. She's in big league contention. They haven't signed Trish yet, which they need to. But until then, Trish Adora is my woman wrestler of the year. She's my wrestler of the year, point blank. All right, that's the world champion. Period.
It's wild too because there's like so many. And it's like this is what makes wrestling so hard and making like these awards like so hard, right? Is that we have to like continually pick, because even doing like a top 5, like for me between like Allie, Willow, Trish, Kylan King, right? As well as Becca. There's like so many different names that you're like able to throw in there. And I was like, yo.
I was about to say, you definitely got to throw in Becca in there. I think what the stuff that Becca's done over the year and just the second half of the year itself has just
coming back from injury.
Yeah, like legitimately, she's definitely been killing it. Like,
and then Billy Starks, of course. Like that's
Billy Starks, yes, absolutely. But yeah, it's just I love Trisha Dora.
What was like? We're gonna pick out one, and then we'd name like 6 other people that were like,
exactly.
Could have put this person in there too. Masha, of course, that's a great pick.
Alex picking Masha. When he said Masha, I go, well, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. We shared the same locker room.
Right. I'm just like, duh. Like,
right.
Duh. Why wouldn't you pick Masha? Like, come on, Chaz. But yeah, it's funny. Anyway, let's go with male wrestler of the year.
All right. Let's do our indie first.
Okay.
And then we'll do our main one, right?
So who's yours?
Oh, who's mine?
Because I feel like you're going to say a certain person, and if you say the certain person, I understand why, but it still doesn't count. But if it is that person,
I don't think so. I think we're probably on 2 different pages with this one.
Cool, that's fine. That's perfect. I'm glad we are.
So okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just ask you, who's yours? I know it's Chaz and friends, but I want to know yours first.
All right, and this is not.
Yep. No, I already know now. Just a deep breath that you took. I already know who this is. Oh shit. Go on.
Oh man, this is. Go ahead. You already know who. Go ahead, Cliff.
Yo, if you guys don't know,
we don't have to announce it. We don't have to announce it. I think we all know who I'm going to say. I mean, it's just the facts are in the pudding. We don't have to announce it. Congratulations to him. Yippee-ki-yay.
Oh man,
go ahead.
That's gonna make somebody's day. Just the sheer in and out of that breath. Yeah, I'll tell you straight up. My wrestler of the year on the indie scene. There's tons and tons of names that we could pick once again, right? But I think that this person deserves all the flowers that they receive. That person is Kid Bandit. I think the year that Kid has been incredible, right? Whether going overseas, home side, East Coast, West Coast, up north, down south, like just putting the work in. Yeah, so there you go. Kid Bandit is my indie wrestler of the year.
All right, cool. Big League Wrestler of the Year. Go ahead, Cliff. Since you didn't go first on the last one.
Right. Mine is legitimately 3 letters. MJF.
Yeah.
Just simple.
Yeah. John Moxley. I really feel like Mox this year really put the company on his back, and not necessarily just on his back, but he especially during the summer when all hell broke loose in Chicago. Mox has put on matches. He's been in every major, storyline going in through this year. You don't question the year that Mox has had. Not just AEW, but his stuff in GCW, his stuff in New Japan. Just Mox has been going around and he's been putting it out that he is the damn best thing on the planet, and he has been proving it. Like I said, this year has been his year. He's had a great 2 years because last year he was killing it as well. So I'm gonna go with John Moxley.
It's cool. You can make like a massive argument for John himself, and MJF as well, right? From we could talk about AEW and the rise that they've had just this year and a year they've had. I think another name that we need to really kind of acknowledge, and we really, it's probably kind of hard for us to just be like, yeah, that's the other person too. Matt Cardona,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, all the work that remember because we was talking about everything Matt was doing was just fire.
Yes.
And we were like, dang, man. And even still, like to the end of the year, it's not like he like cooled off. It's just that, he just keeps putting on. And now it's like almost to the point where we're at this expectation of watching Matt Cardona do what Matt Cardona does. And it's crazy because
he's rumored for the Rumble. There's talk.
Yeah.
There's
talk.
talk.
And not as Zack Ryder, like as Matt Cardona, which is even better. Like, so it is crazy to think like there's so much that we could like be like, oh yeah, that's that person or that person, right? So I think it would. I just want to be known like it would be crazy of us not to acknowledge Matt Cardona and his rise that he's had. And I think another person that we kind of like, I don't really know, man. It's weird to say the word slept on, but
he is slept on. Matt Cardona is slept on.
Yeah.
He is. Ever since he left, he made it. He has proven why that he's he should have been given the torch a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's that good, and he's extremely slept on because a lot of people don't. They says, oh, Zack Ryder, and Matt is like, oh, Matt Cardona. That like Matt Cardona puts in work. Like. He puts in work, and you're right. He doesn't get as much appreciation as he should.
Yeah, and I definitely think those his flowers should definitely be given to him a long time ago. Just like you said, I think and I keep thinking about like other people too that I would throw out there too, because like Cody, like up to the point where Cody got injured, man, Cody was putting on match after match after match, and we were just like, he had put on this great match at AEW in January, and then came over to WrestleMania and just down.
Oh yeah.
So it's wild to be like, yeah, we don't know who else we could throw out here, but we'll throw out more names. And like, another one I would also throw out there, Nick Cage.
Yeah, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Nick Cage. It's hard not to be like, no. We don't want to put him in there because even like we talked about deathmatch wrestling because of like all the work that Nick was doing, and now look at him. You know what I mean? So
factual.
We have a crazy amount of names that we can continue to throw, but I definitely am gonna still stand behind mine and go, yeah, that's the dude.
Gotcha. Is it true?
Which part?
Is it true that we're being joined?
Mm-hmm. No, not yet. Not right now.
No. Oh, we're not. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to our next debate topic. We'll come back to match of the year after we do our last debate topic of the year. We got to talk about it, right? It's your hottest wrestler for Temp Check, Mandy Rose, being fired, released from WWE. Over her fan time premium subscription service. So should Mandy Rose have been released? What do you think, Cliff?
Hell no. I think the only reason why she got released was I'm gonna agree with the internet community, right? Is that she was outrunning her pace. She was outrunning the pace at WWE, right, as far as her contract went, and WWE couldn't get the money that she was able to pull in. She capitalized on a venture that nobody else was really marketing, and I think it's crazy to disrespect somebody. Now, I won't say that WWE isn't right, okay? Or that's what I'm looking for. I'm not gonna say that they were wrong. I'm sorry, that they were wrong, because 100% I do understand, like, you got to protect your brand, right? And from we talk about the stuff that they did in the 90s, right, with Playboy, but we look at this is a whole different venture for WWE. Like, they're in a whole different era of what it used to be. So I can't sit back here and say no, like they're wrong for cutting her. They're very much in the right because they're trying to protect their brand. But Mandy was also in the right too of like wanting to venture off into a new brand and do what she did. So I think it's weird. It's kind of like this weird sense of where two people are going to meet the road, and eventually like they're going to come to a clash and they're going to have to go. But I also think that the money that Mandy was bringing in, she was like, "Hey, like I don't have to do this." She's like, "I want to do this," and it was a lot like it kind of felt a lot like the Pat McAfee situation, right? Where Pat, back in when he was at WrestleMania, remember Michael Cole like just chewed him out because he was wearing a tuxedo with shorts, right? And Pat pretty much told him, he was like, "Listen, I don't have to be here. I'm only here because I want to be here, and you guys need me, and I can always leave." And he was willing to go. And you kind of seeing the same thing. Like Mandy's like, "I don't have to be here. I'm making a lot of money." And Booker T, as much as we talk about him, he had a right. She's very talented, and she could do a lot more stuff than just having to rely on her looks. But hey, she's gonna make her money the way she wants to make her money. And for right now, I'm like, hey, I kind of like where Mandy was going with it. So that's where I'm at.
They should have released her. I'm going to go on the opposite side here. I'm not shamming. I got because you got to make sure when you say stuff, you got to make sure you put it out there because people twist the words. I'm not shamming Mandy Rose for her account or the content that she was producing. I'm not saying that she was wrong in producing the content that she was creating. She was out here hustling, and I'm never going to knock somebody's hustle. Like she was getting more money doing through her subscription than she was getting paid by her actual job. So go ahead, like you got to make your bread. How you make your bread, but saying that she shouldn't have be have like repercussions for her action is crazy. Regardless of independent contractor, and people want to bring in, the Usos get DUIs, they get titles 2 weeks later, or people say other stuff and trying to say compare other situations to this, and it's not fair because of the simple fact is that, like you said, they have to protect their brand, and that's your NXT champion, regardless if she was losing the belt to Roxy, next year or not, or whatever the plans was. That's you got to look at have investors as a company, and it's like it's not nothing personal. I think a lot of people understand like this is they're a business, they're a publicly traded company, who have investors with children and stuff, and if that stuff gets out and they may lose money, it's you got to cut your losses. And she knew that she couldn't do that. And of course, on top of the fact is that apparently they knew of this service. They just didn't know apparently what was being on it, which I also think on WWE's part, which they're kind of idiots. I mean, I highly doubt that there isn't a person who in that field apparently who did all that don't know what exclusive content, premium content is. In today's age, I mean, of course, it doesn't always have to be that, but in the day of OnlyFans and crap, I just think they're idiots that they didn't already know that that's what she was doing, even if it was soft core stuff, like, it's just, but you got to understand like that it's your job. They don't, teachers have been fired for OnlyFans. Like, I don't understand why it's such an out. It was, made people were saying that she shouldn't have been fired. No, goodbye. Like you're already not supposed to have the premium thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they already were, rocky fences on the premium thing in the first place with Twitch and everything, and they allowed her to do that anyway. And still, it's just, I don't think she shouldn't have had the consequences that she had, that she was dealt with. And it's not like she's gonna stop.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have like gone out of their way to compare and contrast like these kind of situations, right? Because they're talking about like Paige's situation, China's situation, right? They're talking about all these other women who had these situations, and it's like, yo, like Paige's situation was such a different situation because like that shit got leaked.
Leaked,
Like,
yeah.
it got taken out. This was somebody who was like openly doing it, right? And in the same context, and this is why I kind of go back to it was because WWE, like, one, they were trying to protect their brand, but two, they also weren't getting any of the cut, right? And the reason why is because when you look at a situation with Christy Hemme or Maria Kanellis or Sable or Tori Wilson or Chyna, right? They did their own thing, right? Like, they were a part of Playboy, and Playboy was paying WWE part of that money. And that's why I look back and I'm like, come on, man, like, how can you not think that this is almost a similar situation? You know, so to me, I think that's why I'm like looking at Mandy. If they would have told Mandy, hey, we get a cut of that, I think they might have taken her off still. She would have still lost the title, but I don't think they would have released her.
Okay,
Whoa.
so I disagree with both of you.
Welcome,
Hey,
Damien.
I'll get ready to tell you why.
All right, talk to me, buddy.
All right, so what y'all saying about all the other ladies before? That was a different time.
Yeah, if you would have missed earlier when I said that. But also, Damien, your mic cut out, and so we can't hear you.
Yeah, I thought it was me. I had to. I unplugged my. I legitimately just unplugged my headphones and plug it back in. I was like, oh my god, he cut out. Like,
yep. As he's trying to fix his stuff. But yeah, Damien, if you would have heard the first part of my rant, it was very much the, hey, like, that was a different time, but if you still look at it, like, WWE was still getting that money cut. So I was like, you know, I do understand that portion of it though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gone. Oh wow, yeah. This is funny.
Oh wow, his whole mic's messed up and everything.
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't have what grinds his gears. That would have been hilarious. You want to know what grinds my gears? Mic cut.
Mic cut. You guys see him punked. You didn't even get muted by me. Like, I legit didn't hit the mute button. It just dropped him.
Look.
Oh, talk.
All right. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, we got
you.
You're back.
So, all right. So it was a different time when Sable, all of them were doing it, as far as it being public. It was agreed upon by all parties, point blank in general. From my understanding, from what I heard, was that they knew that she was posting kind of risky kind of pictures or whatever, or videos, but it didn't go to the extent that it started to go, basically. And considering with all the, you know, sponsors, partnerships and things like that, and it being the different era and everybody's super sensitive, they kind of had to do what they had to do. It's a completely different story, like altogether. Correct. And fact is, she was making more money than she was contractually obligated by WWE. So she had a choice to not do it or do it, and she chose to do it, knowing what the consequences are. I don't want to hear that she didn't. I don't want to hear that she was surprised. This is what she chose to do, and she's a big girl. So let her do her thing. Like, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's not like they let go like Becky Lynch or something. I mean,
oh my God,
are we really gonna miss her? Seriously,
yes.
Are we really gonna miss her?
So
yes, 100%. Yes,
I will
100%.
Is it gonna hurt them though?
No, I think no, but it doesn't hurt them as a whole. No, absolutely not. It hurts what you call it, Gigi and what you call it, because now you just toxic. It just is. You know, let's be real. Mandy Rose was
toxic attraction.
Exactly, Mandy was toxic attraction, and Mandy was killing. Mandy was killing NXT this year.
But
she was killing it.
But it's time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I definitely agree with you. Yeah, it was time for it was time. It ran his course.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think she was losing to Roxy anyway.
Yeah, I heard she was supposed to lose sometime in the beginning of the year within the next,
Right, the next couple of weeks of yeah. So it's that's what I'm saying. Like it ain't gonna hurt them. This was already in the plans, but like, who knows? They could have brought Toxic Attraction up to the main roster, which I think would be dope to see.
They probably would have. That's probably the next move would have been.
I really just want to interrupt this conversation really quick because because the friendly neighborhood Red Dog definitely loves to cause a little bit of chaos every once in a while. And I 100% am always about just bringing on random people.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Yo, you talk too damn much.
Oh, why? Why?
Way too much. Yo, you feel me? I'm over here.
For our listeners on the podcast who don't know, Chaz's favorite indie wrestler of the year has just joined us.
Yes. Mr. PWI 45 J Bougie, top five in the world. Chaz, you over here chatting about nothing, wiping your forehead, sweating. You're getting all excited when you talk about Mandy. I don't know. You're a little weirdo. But understand, look, 2022 was real good to you, my brother. Real good to you. Here, thank you. It was real good to you. Okay? You didn't get your ass beat by me. The last place you want me to go to, you feel me? They ain't want to make posters. They want to real hillbilly type stuff. I don't know what's going on. But 2023, my brother, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Red Dog, you my dog. I appreciate all the pictures. They're fire. Everything that's going on. Chaz, you little simple-minded bastard. I can't stand you. I'll be seeing you really.
I can't stand you either. Get off my show. Get him out of here.
Oh no.
He's not.
Stay now.
No, please don't stay. Please don't. Don't you got a stream to do? Don't you got to play Call of Duty?
I'm playing Call of Duty right now.
So go do that, bro. Go focus on that.
Don't told me you was at peace in life, and I couldn't have that.
I was at peace. I was
in life, and I couldn't have. Wow. I couldn't.
You totally ruined the rest of your year, buddy.
Bruh.
Yeah, you thought you was gonna end this year off like the bad guys, all sweet and dandy. No. Red Dog, I love you, baby. You are my guy. Yo, what's other homie name that's in pure ignorance? The one that has like so much potential. It's not Machiavelli. It's what's his name? Why I'm not remembering his name right now?
That's crazy.
Noah?
Noah, that's my dog. Yeah, Noah. Yeah, I love Noah. Noah.
He don't like you though.
Jaywalker. Come be a jaywalker.
Oh, not you using the name. You're using that name. Oh, all right.
Come be a jaywalker. You feel me? We doing big things over here. I just beat the beat last night. Lance, I don't listen. I'm not even gonna get into that. Listen, I'm gonna kick your ass. All right. Now, Red Dog, love you. Hey, Dark Lord, listen, I know your mic was player hating, but guess what? It was Chaz. It was Chaz doing all that because he's the biggest hater in the world. Can't stand him. He do it to his own people, dog. Hey, y'all be good. 2023 is coming. Chaz.
Every year I do this. It is amazing to do this every year. First season was Anthony, second season was Supreme and TJ Sykes, and now the third season, Jay Bushi.
I hate you, Cliff.
He got you, buddy.
Did you know Damien?
Oh no, I had no clue.
Oh,
no clue.
Then brought Jay Bougie on my show.
Only one other person knew. Only one other person knew that was happening, and he left earlier in the show.
That's amazing. You're kidding me.
No.
How do you do things like this? That's crazy because they don't like each other. Well, I wouldn't. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe you brought that man on my show after I'm so glad he's off.
After you so hardly tried not to say what you were trying to say. I was like, hey, yo.
But you know the bad thing about it is, well, since we're here now, my match of the year is Jay Bougie versus Rev Ron from Invictus, STP versus Takeover.
I bet he's still watching the stream too.
I hope he's not. I hope he's not.
I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Oh, you want me to tell you what grinds my gears, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I mean, might as well. Well, we're doing match of the year.
right.
No, before you do, well, I mean, are you really leaving?
No, I mean I'm not like actually like I gotta step. No, I'm
You gotta
actually
step
I'm
out
good.
quick
I think
second.
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I gotta check my store. I'm still at work.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, with Christmas party, employee Christmas party.
right.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that
Well, then-
Christmas party. This is way more important.
Yeah. But you can
My bad.
well, before we do that,
My match of the year.
yeah, give me your match of the year.
Ooh.
He really put that mask.
Ooh.
I knew something was up when that mask went on, bro. I felt. Listen, I got while Damien thinks, I got so uneasy. Not even gonna lie to you. I saw you pull out the mask, and I go, "What the fuck is going on?" I know he's about to do something. Like he's about to go Red Dog on this show, and I don't know why. And I literally, as Damien was talking, and I just see you put the mask, getting ready, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I thought it was TJ. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought TJ was popping up, and the sudden displeasure of seeing that ugly dude on my show. My goodness, I wouldn't be surprised if we lost ratings and viewers because you brought that man on my show. How dare you, Cliff? After I give him props as well, like,
Oh, I loved it that because the funniest thing, right, was
did he see
Like-
that? Was he there for that?
oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Didn't ask, like you want me to ask him because I'm talking to him on Twitter right now.
No, don't talk to him no more. No, don't tell him.
I think it's so funny.
All right.
Because like when you low key were like, my indie wrestler of the year. I'm not even gonna say his name. Blah blah blah. I was like, oh, this is way too perfect because like I did not know that Jay Bushi was your favorite wrestler in the indies, and that just made it so much better.
Terrible. But go ahead,
All right.
Damien. What's your match of the year?
I'm stuck between two.
Oh, do you have a? Well, I mean, you got a big league one and an indie one, or you just got one? For one.
I got an indie one,
Okay.
and then I'm stuck between two mainstream.
Okay.
So my indie one is gonna have to be DCW, Manny Lemons versus Josh Alexander.
That was a good one.
Just because that was dope. Like just being there, it was dope. That was a pretty dope ass match. My mainstream is between Sheamus and Gunther at was it Clash at the Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Logan Paul and Roman Reigns.
Okay. I like both those. That's strong picks.
Those are strong
Yeah, that's
picks.
what I was saying. I was stuck. I was like really, really stuck because I liked both of those matches. But yeah, definitely for the indie match, that's the one that like really stuck out to me. I have to say, like they killed it. They had that crowd pretty shook. Like it was a really, really good match.
Factual. Alrighty. What's yours, Cliff?
I don't know, but someone just asked like a wild ass question to me. I'm putting it up right now just so you guys can see it too.
What?
Have you ever been wedged? What's that story? I don't know. It's a random ass question, and I'm not gonna tell that story because I don't know what story we're talking about. More importantly, let's talk about.
That's extremely weird.
Yeah, it's a random ass thing. It's on Twitch.
Put
too.
it.
That's crazy. Hi on
Tell
Twitch.
them to take it to the back, and then I'll grab it when I.
But let's talk about my indie match of the year, which is going to be one that's just going to throw a lot of people off. Because both my matches of the year aren't even singles matches; they're tag matches. So let me get my indie match of the year is going to be main event versus the Briscoes at House of Glory. So definitely got to rock out that match. It was a solid match. It was solid work. All four are amazing at what they do. And you guys saw me. I talked about I was the host of my tag team of the year. Let's jump into my match of the year regarding the big leagues, as we would like to say. And my match of the year is actually going to be FTR versus the Briscoes at Ring of Honor. And I'm not talking about Final Battle.
How about the one before?
No, I'm talking about the very first one. So that 2 out of 3 falls match was great, but that very first Ring of Honor match was...
That first one was fire.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was fire. No, you're right.
That's a good one. All right. I already said what my indie match of the year was. We don't have to say it again. Shout out to STP though. Those are the OGs. Moses, Khan, O'Shea, Rev, Ron, and Shane Taylor himself. But Big League match of the year. This has been a crazy year of matches as far as the big leagues concerned, whether your main companies. And it's hard not to choose my tribal chief, wrestling the Brock Lesnar man at SummerSlam, because I still think that match was the best Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for me to not say that. But if I say that and I don't include this match, it's blasphemy. So my match of the year does not go to the tribal chief. My match of the year goes to Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania.
I was thinking that too.
That is a great pick.
That is a great pick.
When you just pull in just the skepticism and just the buildup of, is it Cody? It's not Cody. It's somebody else. And it's Bray. It's gotta be Bray. It's not Cody. It's just it's such that leading up to the final weeks. And then seeing it happen. And I saw a lot of people, we know a lot of people who were there at WrestleMania, and they were there, and just the energy, and they describe it. I can't not say that Cody and Seth put on the banger of the year, which honestly set the tone for the rest of the year. Because let's be real, after WrestleMania, I think once Cody stepped foot in AEW, that's when everybody said, it's time to step our game up. Because if you really think about it, all the banger matches over across the board as far as the big leagues happened after WrestleMania. Everything really went in a high year. So I'm going with Cody and Seth from WrestleMania as my match of the year. So, all right, Damien, what grinds your gears? I love how we always that's now the ending segment. So I think that's what's coming in next year. That's what will end the show with Damien ranting. Great way. All right, Damien, what grinds your gears, bro? The last one of the year.
Chris Jericho.
Oh, Jesus.
The fucking Chris fucking Jericho.
It's amazing. Alex praised Chris Jericho.
So Chris Jericho, I'm going to put this out here right now. He lied to his wife.
What? Okay.
About being abducted by aliens. And losing 2 hours of time. Yeah, you know why you lost 2 hours of time, Jericho? You're out there fucking bitches. That's why. You trying to lie. Look, I told my wife about what happened. She was like, oh, yeah, he lying. Yo, come on now. Your wife ain't that stupid, is she? I mean, she did storm the Capitol. Never mind.
Oh, damn. I'm drinking my lemonade.
My bad. So with that being said, bro, Jericho, come up with a better lie, my dude.
Oh God.
Come up with a better lie.
You know what? I'm okay with that. Was a great way to end the year. That right there.
If we don't come back for season 4, y'all know why.
Y'all know why. Oh my goodness. All
He's
righty.
lying. Come on, he's lying. You can't tell me you believe he was abducted.
I believe there are aliens. Now
I didn't say there wasn't. I didn't say that.
So to me, to say that the man was not to say he wasn't abducted would just be of me saying I don't believe aliens. I can't deny that he wasn't or he was.
No.
So
No.
if he says
That's
he
for
was,
another podcast.
yeah, that's for
I
that's
got fooled.
that's for the conspiracy theory podcast. I'm gonna start in April of next year, where I just talk about all my conspiracy theories because I actually love a lot of conspiracy theories, but that's another story.
Yeah,
we could bring
he
on.
Didn't get abducted. He hiding. He hiding the truth from his wife, my dude.
So we could bring on Flip Gordon because he loves those conspiracy theories as well.
Exactly. So, which is
bet.
a good
I'm all down
segue.
for that.
It is a good segue for you to check out this Thursday our 300th episode interview of Now Into the Ring, featuring the one, the only Flip Gordon. We announced that earlier in the show, so make sure you definitely check that out. Can we can we go make that a premiere and stream and like premiere that one as like a big thing? I think we should do that. Can we? Sure. Let's do that.
Because normally I release all the episodes at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you want, we can push that back.
Yeah, we'll push the video.
Premiere that one.
We'll premiere the video later, but the audio, we can release that as normal. But let's do the visual.
Well, the funny thing is that on Spotify we have the video version of it as well. So when it goes up on behind the scenes, for you guys who don't know, on Anchor I just put up the video version, so I can just release all of it at the same time at like 8 o'clock like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 6.
You guys let us know what time you usually drive home, because if it's like 5 o'clock, we'll debut at 5:30. Why not?
Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. So with that being said, if you have made it to the end of this episode, you get a platinum trophy for my PlayStation users because you've reached the end of season 3. Whoop whoop. Now the DLC for season 4 comes out and you got a whole bunch of more trophies to get. But for all of my Xbox users, you get an achievement because, as we know, it is a drag sometimes to get through this wild show, which, as I predicted in the beginning of the show, it will go off the rails, as it did, because that ugly, phony, wannabe wrestler of the name that won't speak. You know what? We're going to call him the man that shouldn't have lived. Yep. Treat him like Voldemort. Treat him like Voldemort. He that shall not be named.
That's my boy right there, Voldemort. That's my homeboy. We go back.
I'm almost finished the the second to last book, by the way. Almost finished.
Getting good, isn't it?
Oh my gosh! Just hearing it, just is like when I work, I'm just like, I remember the movie and like, this part wasn't in the movie. Anyway, we'll talk about it after the air. But yeah, thank you. Make sure you check out all
nerds.
Right. Make sure you check all of our social media at 3count_pod on Twitter. That's the only one that's different, but everything else is 3countpod, all one word. Don't miss that number 3. Okay, it's number 3 count pod. All right. Also, go buy some merch from Pro Wrestling Tees /3count pod, because guess what? Once it's gone, it's gone. We're moving to For Your Wear next year. So get it while it's there. Buy Red Dog's merch. All right. He's got his Red Dog merch at foryourwear.com. And then click on wrestlers. You'll see Red Dog there. I'm also sporting that new Grapple Region Chaz Evans shirt. You can get that For Your Wear. Click on wrestlers. You'll see Pure Ignorance, the big old black fists. Because black people, so go buy some merch. Don't buy Damien's merch. Don't follow him because he don't want your follow. Stay away from him. He'll find you.
Next year. I'll get merch next year.
He's getting merch next year. He's opened up his own little For Your Wear store. And it's just straight Damien Fatale bro. You need to put yourself as a personalities. You need to get on Twitter, and I need you to really be on Twitter so you can start drama and add more fuel to fire. Just have a troll. Make your account a troll account. I promise you, you'll have a lot of followers, and it'll bring some eyes to the product.
I bet. Say less.
We're going to turn Damien Fatale from a wrestler into a personality. The Dark Lord is about to be a thing. We're about to make you. We're about to make you the Black Conrad Thompson for podcasts. That's what we're about to do to you. I'm like, Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you a yep. You gonna get an office in your in-laws' house. You're gonna get that big red chair that I know your mother-in-law. I know she got one. I know she got one of those big round big office chairs.
No, but I can get one of those. I
Wow.
make good money now.
Oh yeah,
I
well
make
yeah.
good money now.
You got to get one of those so we can. So when we see you now, you got to sit in the office like your Conrad, all your memorabilia, all your belts behind you, and your posters. Oh,
I don't
anyway,
have enough wall to put up every title I won, bro.
we'll figure it out. We'll get VR next year for season 4, and we'll just VR it on your screen.
All right, that works.
Make sure you follow us. All right, on our podcast audio, it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, podcast.com, Podcoin. I don't think that's a thing anymore. But yeah, follow us there. Hit that 5-star Frog Splash review on Apple Podcasts off the top of the cell this time because it's the season finale of the Chaz and Friends 3-Count Podcast debate show. So hop off the cell onto the announce table with that 5-star Frog Splash review. See you next year, I guess. I don't know anything else. Don't worry, we still have content. All right, now into the ring. Still, we still got interviews, and we'll see y'all sometime in January. I don't have a date for you, but guess what? We'll announce it sometime soon. But we'll be back. In my Ric Flair voice, we'll be back. Yeah. Woo! For the 3-Count Podcast.